Cotton Mather was a leader by showing his interest and research into the cause of diseases. His most important legacy was that he found the way to help prevent the spread of smallpox. He helped doctors and researchers. Without him and Dr. Boylston, the entire colonial Boston population may have been wiped out, along with the rest of the colonies. Mather was different from others. He took interest in finding a cure and researching to find more information about his unknown deadly disease. Many people still didn't want his vaccination because there was so much controversy. Those that debated his work and findings didn't understand and believed that the inoculation would not prevent, but that it would instead continue to spread the disease. But luckily, Mather was very persuasive. He convinced the town, and there was vaccinations being performed all over. Smallpox was the most deadly disease in the colonies at the time. Before Mather came along, 60% of the people had been ill or dead. When Mather and Dr. Boylston figured out that they could put a small portion of the virus into the human body to see the reactions, they changed the future. When Cotton was researching, he believed in what he was doing, even when most doctors wouldn't respond to him. He risked the life of his only child and 2 slaves by inoculating them. He argued with those that debated that the inoculation was a gift from God. People thought he was crazy. They would have fights because the people thought that the inoculation would spread the disease even more. A protester even went to the extreme and threw a lighted bomb into his house, risking his life. Yet, Cotton believed this was the cure, and with his continued perseverance, passion, and his belief in God, he was able to convince only one physician, Dr. Boylston, to support his efforts and eventually would inoculate around 180 people.
I think medicine today would be very different if Cotton Mather hadn't experienced with the smallpox inoculation. Back in the 1700s, after being approached by one of his slaves, he learned that his slave had been inoculated from smallpox as a child in Africa, and he became quite an advocate for the smallpox inoculation and convinced several physicians to inoculate his own child, as well as several other persons in the community, which then led to the development of the smallpox vaccine. And due to the smallpox vaccine, we have now eradicated smallpox from the world.
If you knew who Cotton Mather was and you heard his name, you would never think of his work with smallpox. He is mostly known for his involvement in the Salem witch trials, but people don't realize that his legacy was more than that. Solving smallpox was essential. If not, it could have been another plague that may have wiped out civilization. People should learn about him. He should be remembered by his legacy.